Welcome, and today we are going to do an unstir-fried rice. Rice, you may say, with raw food. Well, we use black wild rice, otherwise known as forbidden rice. It looks like this. And so it looks almost like traditional white or brown rice. Usually a little bit longer and a little bit skinnier, okay? And so if we don't cook it, people say, well, how do you prepare it? Do you just keep soaking it? All right, so that was 4 cups of rice, and we would fill up to here on this container with water. Okay, so that's like 16 cups of water. After we have it like this, what we do is we put it in our dehydrator at 115 degrees overnight. And the next day, this whole thing will be full of black wild rice that's already sprouted. So if you don't have a dehydrator, I would recommend that you put it in your oven at the lowest heat setting. I think most people's lowest heat setting is 150 degrees. Okay? If you've got an oven, you put it in 150 degrees and you shove a piece of cardboard into the door so that it opens a little bit, then the air will continually go in and out, and guess what temperature your oven will never reach? 150. So if it never reaches 150, then it'll be closer to that 118 that we're trying to get it at, okay? But even if you did it at 150, you could. The other option is to make this unstir-fried rice, go ahead and make brown rice. If you make brown rice and you cook it, there is so much nutrition in brown rice that it takes your body more calories to break down the rice than are in the rice. So you end up with a nutritional gain and a caloric loss. What does black sprouted wild rice look like? Now, I did drain this already, just so you know, but it looks like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add vegetables without cooking them to our rice so that it tastes good, and then you can choose to eat it just like that. But I invented a sauce that tasted a little bit like a sweet soya sauce, and you can put it on your rice if you'd like it. Okay, so the ones that I picked today, one is kale. Okay, it's beautiful and it's called Romanesca. But other vegetables that are in season right now are broccoli, right? We see a lot of broccoli being used in Oriental stir-fried. Who knows what this one is? Which one's a turnip? This one. This one's a purple top turnip. So what's this then? It's a rutabaga. And then carrots. Wonderful winter vegetables. So we're going to start off with one rutabaga. You'll hear me say, let's top and tail. And we always top and we always tail. That just means removing that part of it. And we go ahead and we peel that rutabaga. And then we are going to top and tail our purple top turnip. Okay, and so what we did is we took our carrots and we topped and tailed them. Same way, tail and top. Do we have to peel these? We don't have to, okay? So we got one turnip, we got one rutabaga. We are going to go with 6 carrots and then 1 head of kale. How do we do the kale? So this, we strip it. That's exactly right. So we remove the certified organic thing from TD Willie Farms, and we hold the stem in our hand and we pull it off the stem, because this part has no taste really and it's hard for your body to digest. Here we go. Once you strip it, I go ahead and I just roughly chop it, and you'll see why after. There we go. Okay, and we have 1 head of Romanesca here. How would you prepare the Romanesca? And in place of Romanesca, of course, you could use cauliflower. And all these vegetables are substitutable. Just use whatever vegetables you think will taste good. We take our knife, we flip our cauliflower over, and we want to cut a square the same way that we did for our coconut. And typically what will happen is that the cone and the leaves will come away from it. So now we've got 1 head of Romanesca all ready to be grated. Broccoli. A lot of people say cauliflower and broccoli are from the gassy family, right? So what you want to do is you want to remove the stalk. The part that's hard for your body to digest is the hard dark green part. So by the time you remove all that and you get to the center white, as cheap as I am, I just don't think it's worth it. So we're going to use 2 things of broccoli. We just remove that part. And those were all the vegetables we were going to use. In our food processor, we're going to start off with the S blade. You can hand chop it, and I will show you what the difference is in a minute. But what I do at the cafe, typically speaking, is I go ahead and I coarsely chop my carrots. Just like that. Okay. And I put them into my food processor. And I want to make sure that you haven't put much more than the top part of your blade. Anytime you're trying to do this trick, you don't want the basket to be overly full. Top part of the blade is the maximum you want to do. You want to put that on there, and then you want to hit pulse. And this might seem pointless, and you will be very, very tempted just to push the on button, okay? And then you will end up with carrot pulp. You might come up with one piece like this, but generally speaking, at the end of it, they will all be in beautiful, small, bite-sized pieces. And now, that is what we're going to do. I need the basket back, love. For all of our root vegetables. Same thing with the kale. We coarsely chopped it. Now we go ahead, we put it in with the S-blade. Okay, now we're going to go on to grating. So we put the grater blade in. And we are wanting short pieces. So we're going to start off with our Romanesca. We feed it into the cup when we want short pieces. And then we have really nice, pretty pieces that look like that. So with the kale, what you want to do is, because we didn't steam it, the S-blade did part of it, we do massage it with lemon juice. For 1 head of kale, it would be 1 tablespoon, okay? Because there's more than 1 head in here, so you don't really want to know. Okay, and we just go ahead and we massage it just a little bit. And we didn't add salt to that either before. So it's a combination of salt and lemon juice that continues to cook your kale. And then we blend it all up together. And see how pretty it's looking now? And then the last thing is getting back to that Romanesca and broccoli of ours. And that's what we do. We take it, go ahead and dump it in. Okay. Now this is how our unfried rice is looking. What we did is, before you got here, is I put some salt and black pepper into the rice. I always do that. I always make sure that my rice tastes good by itself. I'm going to use 4 ounces of Bragg's, and I'm going to use 2 ounces, so half as much maple syrup. We're going to use the same amount of lemon juice as we did maple syrup. 2 ounces. And we juice our ginger here at the cafe. You could have grated it and added it right to the recipe, but we have a Norwalk, we make fresh pressed juices. I like to juice my ginger. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 ounces of ginger juice. If you don't have a juicer, that's okay. You just take your ginger, food process it until you get 2 ounces worth, okay? We're going to use Oriental seasoning. I'm going to use 2 teaspoons for that amount. I'm going to adjust the maple syrup on it and go up to 4 ounces again. I want to crack a couple of coconut waters in here. You don't have to, but I think it's missing. Let's do 2. Okay. So what we like to do is we like to put our unfried rice in a tower like that, and then we like to pour just a little bit of sauce on top like that, and then we would serve that. Doesn't that look pretty? So here's our dish, and we sprinkled some of those dehydrated caramelized red onions on it and the sauce, and that is a feast for the eyes.